Welcome to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner, investment advisor, and insurance professional Alfie, president of Advantage Retirement Group.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. Another beautiful day, and you're listening to Saving the Investor radio show. I am Alfie, Southwest Florida certified financial planner professor here with Pastor John Antonucci. And what a show we're going to have this morning. So stay tuned and get ready.
Yeah, great to be with you, Alfie, in studio. And good morning, Southwest Florida. You're listening to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend. 40 years experience as a CFP and a fiduciary. And whether you're planning your legacy or preparing for the next phase of life here in Southwest Florida's paradise, Alfie's here to guide you every step of the way. So grab a pen, a paper, lean in, listen, because today's show is jam-packed with great information that he wants to get into your hands that will help you navigate the fog of investing. And before we dive in today, Alfie has put together a special package for our listeners, and we do have 10 packs put together for you for high net worth toolkit. And wherever you're at in the investing platform, whether you're retired or soon to be retired, you really want to pick up this high net worth toolkit. It's designed exclusively for affluent retirees and pre-retirees. It includes advanced guides on tax reduction, estate planning, large IRA strategies, charitable giving, and so much more. We're going to talk about that today. But to pick up your complimentary toolkit, be one of the first 10 people to text the word KIT, K-I-T, to 239-747-1077. Again, text the word KIT right now. Pick up your smart device. Don't hesitate. Don't wait to the end of the broadcast. Text the word KIT and pick up your Freedom Package today. Get it into your library because it's great information that will help you navigate through the fog of investing. And Alfie, as we talk about the market update today, this week, NVIDIA came out exceeding their earnings, with the market, Wall Street's expectations, but yet it opened up rather down on Thursday when they came out with that.
It's crazy, isn't it? They exceed, but then the Wall Street wants more, which is, hey, we all want more. Never satisfied. Yep. But the second quarter revenue was right at $47 billion. Imagine that, $47 billion. That's your second quarter revenue. This is a company that is the largest company in the world right now, and they are, not looking back. And they, you have data centers that are, their sales are up $41 billion, and they missed their lofty goal, their forecast, but it's not, their lofty goals are so extreme. They're used to making 56% a year increase, 56% a year. That's what it's been doing over the years doing this. So this is it has to come to a point that it's going to slow down and then be your 20-25% a year, which is, hey, nothing wrong with that. But you got China also. That if you open up, once China opens up, we were talking about this off air, this stock is going to just go even more crazy.
Yeah. And
it's already up, and everybody has this, one of our biggest holdings in our portfolio. So, our clients own a lot of NVIDIA. They own a lot of Apple. They own a lot of Google, Amazon. They own Costco. These are just great companies, solid companies, and that's what you want. The pre-market reaction was because of the China uncertainties, they fell a little bit, like about 2.5%. Nothing bad, but overall, this is a market that has a lot of room to run. A company, NVIDIA, has a lot of room to run, and again, China is, once they open, then you're going to see another aspect of this stock really just hitting the roof there. So good news with NVIDIA. I think overall, the expectation was didn't meet 100% of it, but not too bad. It's still a 97%. They're still saying it's a 97%, to buy NVIDIA. That's, or in the 90s. So that's still real high up there. If you're in the 90% to still buy, you have that guy that's on Fox that runs these 2-minute long commercials about why you should be selling NVIDIA, and that's been the last I would say 8 months he's been running this commercial, and then buy his stocks but sell NVIDIA. And he shows all these billionaires that are selling their NVIDIA stock. And if they would have listened to that guy, people would have lost their shirt. And that's why you don't listen to that. You listen to, right? You listen to someone that's talking about a portfolio that you don't have everything in one basket. And that's what we do here at the Advantage Retirement Group. We're not going to have everything in one basket. We're going to have it spread out. But you got to have diversification.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's what you preach on this broadcast each and every week. You want to be diversified, allocated, and not put all your eggs in one basket. And, GDP also is up this.
Yeah, that's, look, I don't think Biden never had GDP over 3, did he? I think it was always hovering at 1 and 2. We got 3.3, and this was revised up. So this is good. 3.3%, supported by strong consumer spending and reduce imports. That's what Trump's trying to do, is reduce the amount that we get from overseas and bring it over here. If we can do that, inflation remains, elevated. It's saying it's around 2.8%. It's above the target of 2%. That's the target. Unemployment holds at 4.2. That's signaling really a labor market that's really has staying power, and it's going to get better anytime you have 15 to 17 trillion with a T dollars that are going to be reinvested here in the United States. We're going to have a strong economy. I think we're going to have a strong stock market, and things are going to get better. And I want to talk more about the 7 months that Trump has been in.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic ride so far, and we're going to talk about tariffs and all those things and how they're faring in this market right now. But if you're ready to take a deeper dive into the retirement strategies Alfie talks about each week, he has something very special for you. Today, he has 5 complimentary copies of his book, Making Waves in Retirement, available for our listeners. It's your roadmap to a fulfilling retirement, packed with valuable insights and real-life stories from investors that Alfie has helped save over his 40-year career as a CFP. Listen, he's saved them from the pitfalls, the schemes, the traps of Wall Street, and he wants to save you from them as well. If you haven't picked up your book yet, there's only 5 left in the office. You need to pick up your copy right now. If you haven't picked it up, why not? Pick up your smart device, text the word book, BOOK, to 239-747-1077 to claim your copy. That's book. Text the word book, 239-747-1077 to grab your copy before they're gone. You also can go to savingtheinvestor.com. That's savingtheinvestor.com to find out more information about Alfie, his company, and all the services that he offers here at the Advantage Retirement Group. And Alfie, with all this deportations going on, inflation, unemployment, is still a little bit elevated, and unemployment's holding pretty steady.
Yeah, unemployment's holding good, which is, that's what you want. You want unemployment holding good. You want inflation, obviously, to come down a little bit more. And it's when you get these tariffs, inflation, you had Jerome Powell, our Fed chairman, say at Jackson Hole, he said, I was wrong. He said he was wrong. Trump was right, that these tariffs it was going to be a short-term inflation, like very short-term inflation on the initial, but it's not going to be sustained along the way. And that's what happened. Inflation and the money that's coming in from these tariffs were so much more than anybody anticipated, and they could be $1 trillion to cut down the deficit, to go towards the deficit, decrease that deficit. That's a lot of money, and that's the direction that we need to get. If we start hammering away at the deficit, this is big, because if you cut that debt down and you get interest rate down, that means that much more money you're going to be saving in interest on the debt, which is huge. So a lot of good things are happening. That's why the market has room to run. I feel the market has room to run. If you're not in the market, you want to give us a call. If you are in the market, you still want to give us a call, because we're going to show you if you're outperforming the market or underperforming, taking too much risk, what your fees are. These are all things that we will find out for you. We'll do a good deep dive into your accounts and show you what you have and show you what you don't know that's hidden in those accounts, and show you what we do here at the Advantage Retirement Group. So stay tuned. We're going to be right back, and we're going to talk more about this market and about this past week.
Welcome back to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend. Alfie has over 40 years experience in this industry, and he's also a fiduciary, which means that his responsibility is to you, the individual investor, not to any products or services that he does offer here through the Advantage Retirement Group. And Alfie has put together a high net worth toolkit. Listen, he only has 10 of these packages available. It's designed exclusively for affluent retirees and pre-retirees. So if you're retired or soon to be retired, you want to pick this up, because inside this toolkit is an advanced guide on tax reduction, reducing your taxes, estate planning, large IRA strategies, charitable giving, and so much more. You can get your complimentary toolkit right now, but listen, there's only 10 available that are made for this week. So you want to text the word KIT, K-I-T, to 239-747-1077. Again, you want to text the word KIT to 239-747-1077. 1077. Don't hesitate. Pick up your toolkit today, because it's packed with information that you want to get that will help you navigate the fog of investing and strategies that Alfie has put together over his 40-year career that will benefit you greatly. And Alfie, we're talking about the market, and it's interesting to note that all the indexes are up pretty well this year, aren't they?
They are. Remember, they had to make up a big loss in April. The markets were down. You had the tariffs, and really Wall Street thought that the tariffs were going to be devastating to the market, devastating to inflation. And what happened, it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. It brought a lot of money back to the U.S., because if you didn't want that tariff, you can invest in U.S. And there was, I think it's close to $17 trillion that's going to be invested. President Trump has only been in office, 7 months, 8 months?
Right.
And it just, they're not, people are they're saying, he said he was going to do this. Look what he has done. I mean, border crossings, he's really taking care of crime right now across these cities. But the market has been on a roll. Yes, it went down. It was doing good at the beginning, and then it went down big time because of these tariffs. But then after that, the tariffs have brought in billions and billions of dollars, is helping towards that deficit. But not only that, it made up the loss. So the S&P was down like 16%. NASDAQ was in the correction territory. It was 20% plus down. But as of right now, S&P is up 11%, which includes the dividends. The Dow Jones is up 7%. And NASDAQ is up just under 12%. So this is after making up a 20% loss and still being up 12% almost the NASDAQ. So this is why you don't panic. This is why, I can't tell you, John, you're just being in this business for 40 plus years, how many people will just panic. In not our clients, because, we're talking to them all the time. They know better. They know we have a plan. They're not going to do that. But there's people that will come in and say, yeah, I sold when the market was down. And, well, what'd you sell for? Well, because I was afraid to lose it all. Well, you have to ask yourself, do you really think all these companies, the S&P 500 companies in there, you think they're all going to go out of business? It doesn't make sense. Yeah. So, if you just did nothing, you would have been successful by doing nothing. And so this is what a lot of people, they get the emotion. We always talk about taking the emotion out of investing. How do you do that? A lot of times you need a certified financial planner professional to look at what you have, to show you what you have, and really put a plan together for you, and have our team work with you to show you that we are going to look at your taxes. We're going to look at legacy. The other thing we're going to look at is make sure you do a lot of traveling. If that's your gig you want, if you want to do that, we have a travel concierge that is amazing, that puts trips together for our clients, as for individuals. Sometimes it will go as a group. Sometimes they want to go with their family, and we have a client that is doing a great trip with our travel concierge, Jeff, and what they're doing is they're It's their 50th anniversary, and they're going to take the whole family, and it's going to be a first-class trip from the start, from the airlines to picking them up in the limo to really first class on at these hotels where they're going in Europe. And this is what we do here at the Advanced Retirement Group. We show you how to save. You saved all these years for your money, this money that you have, and now it's time to enjoy some of it. Know that you can spend with confidence. That's what we always talk about here. Spend with confidence. And the reason why our clients can do this, some of the programs that we have that are creating income for our clients that are paying at 12 and 15%, and relatively risk-wise, they're a little bit, they're considered a strong conservative to a low and moderate investment. But if you can get 15% on your income and get your money back after 2 years, doesn't that make sense? That means you have to put only 25% of what you would normally have to put to get the same income. Now, I'm going to say this. You only have to put about 25% in that program to get the income that you're looking for versus the traditional 4% rule of thumb. So if you have only 25% to get that nice income you need, that means 75% is still out there that we can invest and fight inflation. And if you want to give money away, if you want to grow it, whatever you want to do with it, this is what we do different at the Advanced Retirement Group. You need to come in just to let us show you what we do different and show you how we tackle taxes, how we show you we tackle really inflation and legacy. But not only that, we show you how to spend with confidence and how to, have that abundant mindset versus a scarcity mindset.
Yeah, you've been listening to us for a lot of years. A lot of you that are listening to us, we've been on the radio probably 12 years. And if you've been on the sidelines or maybe you've been with another advisor, why not take an opportunity to visit with Alfie in Fort Myers or Naples? He's put together a retirement simulator process. You hear us talk about it. It's a deep dive into your current portfolio to see what's really going on. He's actually going to take you back 5 years, put your portfolio side by side with his on a big computer screen on the wall, and you're going to see exactly how his portfolio would have performed compared to yours. And he's going to make sure that you're allocated properly, diversified correctly, not taking undue risk for the amount of return that you're getting. He's also going to expose hidden fees that you don't know that could be eating up your returns each and every year. Listen, you owe it to yourself to visit with him. If you haven't had a review in 6 months or more, you owe it to yourself to sit down with Southwest Florida's premier financial planner professional, Alfie Townsend, over 40 years experience. He only has room for 9 of you this week, so be one of the first 9 texters. Text the word VISIT, V-I-S-I-T, to 239-747-1077. Again, pick up your smart device right now while you're thinking about it. Text the word VISIT to 239-747-1077 and let Alfie put a second pair of eyes, a second opinion. Listen, if you're on the right course, he's going to tell you because that's the kind of guy he is. But if not, he's going to show you a better way to invest in strategies, whether you're soon to be retired or currently retired. Pick up your smart device. Be one of the first 9 callers right now. Text the word VISIT to 239-747-1077. And Alfie, the market is in great momentum and rotation right now. It's interesting that the Russell 2000, you talk about small caps. We haven't talked about it for a while, but It's up 7% this year. But small cap added to, your regular investment strategy really adds value, doesn't it?
Well, it has value, diversification, and sometimes those are going to go up when the markets are going down, and they don't really go in line with the large cap. That's why you have a diversified portfolio that has small cap, mid cap. You have some international. We are going to tilt more for U.S. than international by quite a bit. We're going to do like 95% because people are putting, companies, even international companies are bringing their business over here so they don't have to worry about the tariffs, and they know that this is the number one consumer, this is where they sell their products, is right here in the United States. And so why wouldn't they want to be here? So it saves them a lot of money, and they get to really work in the place that they're selling most of their products. So it makes sense. That's why a lot of car companies, your Mercedes, your BMWs, they have plants here. a lot of their cars are made here. That's why the tariffs aren't really affecting them as much. I was at a dealership, and he literally showed me. I was talking about this. It was a Mercedes dealership, and he was showing me what the added tariffs were added to the car of the cost, and it wasn't that much. It was a few $100s. These are expensive cars too. I think the most was like $2,000 or $3,000.
Because when you hear 50% tariff, you're thinking, wow.
You're thinking, yeah, and it was like $2,500, $1,500, $1,200. So that's a good thing. So that's but we want to also talk about a consumer on the consumer side. People are worried about jobs, inflation, and tariffs still, which, their confidence level in August went down a little bit, but it was at 90, almost 99%, and it's just under 98% now. So it's still holding strong. So, people are, look, people do have rights to, if they want to feel a little nervous about things because something's new, it's understandable. But overall, I think it's going to be a great market. I think there's opportunity out there, like Trump calls it, the golden years. So I think we're in something special right now. So we'll be right back and talk more. Welcome back to Saving the Investor. I am Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida certified financial planner professor here at Pastor John Antonucci, and we've been talking about the market. Now we're going to talk a little bit about tariffs. We love the word tariffs. We might not like it, but I tell you what, President Trump loves it because it is bringing money to the table. So it's not just the money that is coming in from the tariffs. That's a lot of money coming in from the tariffs. But it's these corporations, these foreign corporations, and these countries that are pouring in money. I'm talking about trillions and trillions of dollars to build here in the United States to avoid the tariff. So tell me that's not a way to, bargain. That's a bargaining chip like I've never seen. So this is something that he's utilizing it, and he is not the first president that utilized tariffs. There's many, many presidents that utilize tariffs. So if you look at the history, there's
Lower income taxes. That's all we did.
Yeah. That's how we used to pay.
Right.
That's it. And that was, so Trump probably would like that.
Yeah, we would like that.
Yeah, we would like it. We would like it probably more. But, well, again, welcome to the show. And let's, John, you want to talk to them about our number and everything?
Yeah.
And then,
well, you had put together this incredible high net worth toolkit, which is absolutely amazing. I'm looking at it right now, and it's just packed with information. And we have 9 of them on the table for those of you that want to pick one of these up. And it's very easy to get a hold of. All you have to do is text the word KIT, K-I-T, to 239-747-1077, or you want to grab a hold of them. It's designed exclusively for affluent retirees and pre-retirees, and it has guides on tax reduction to reduce your tax liability, estate planning, large IRA strategies, charitable giving, and so much more. You can get your complimentary toolkit right now. Be one of the first 9 to text the word KIT, K-I-T, to 239-747-1077. Again, don't hesitate, because once they're gone, they're gone. There's 9 of them here, and you want to pick yours up. Text the word KIT, K-I-T, to 239-747-1077. It's a high net worth toolkit, so whatever income bracket you're in, you can take advantage of this. And really, the tools that are inside this toolkit will really help you navigate the fog of investing, give you great information, great insight, and wisdom from Alfie's 40 years experience as a certified financial planner professional. You want to grab a hold of your toolkit today. Text the word KIT, K-I-T, to 239-747-1077. Tariffs are back in the spotlight, especially with President Trump's new Liberation Day tariffs. Critics keep warning they'll hurt the economy, Alfie, but conservative voices are pointing out that these tariffs may actually be doing what they were designed to do, aren't they?
yeah, this is much more than they thought it was going to do. They thought it was going to be devastating the economy and inflation, but it's really, they had Jerome Powell really sat back and said, and Jackson Hole this past week said, I misunderstood, Trumponomics was right. I mean, these tariffs are creating some great things. We're looking as much as these estimated tariffs could cut the deficit by as much as $4 trillion over the next decade. So think about that. Cut the deficit $4 trillion. To cut $1 trillion is hard to do because you have this snowball effect on interest and everything with when you're talking about $4 trillion. Well, you're talking about $37 trillion. So to cut $4 trillion over the next decade, this is something, John, that this wasn't even in the cards. This wasn't even on the radar, and they just found $4 trillion. And this is bipartisan right here. This isn't, this is not something that, the Republicans are doing it. This is both of them are saying it. This is something that could be very good. So if we can start cutting the deficit, with this type of money, tariffs are also, forcing countries like we talk about, like China, and it's a negotiating tool. That's the bottom line. It's a negotiating tool, and what it's doing is bringing money back here in the United States, and it's the best negotiating tool that I think we have in our pocket.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And but not everybody's happy in Washington. They're not all on board because Trump's arrangement syndrome makes them look beyond what's really taking place. But the budget office really is showing positive things about these tariffs right now that could be beneficial.
Right. It's the first, last month was the first surplus we've had since the 1990s.
And they found $30 billion, and he said, check the tariffs. And that's exactly where it was. I mean, they got money coming in. They don't even know where this stuff's coming from.
Yeah. They got a lot of money coming in, and this is a good thing because we need the money coming in. We have a lot of things. We have 4 years to catch up with what Biden left them with. And that's what I'm saying. I talk to people, I talk to clients that, man, it's just not going fast enough. I said, he's been in office just, less than a year, quite a bit less than a year. But you're talking about 4 years of devastation that was happening, of spending, reckless spending, giving money out, and just these policy changes that were just executive orders that weren't, he doesn't know what he was signing, and if he was signing with and it just, there was a lot to fix. And this is going to be, once it starts to get fixed, and the money that was promised to be brought over here from these countries and companies building new factories and everything. Look at Apple. What were they putting in? Like $500 billion to open factories here. So, that's going to do nothing but create jobs. Stock markets are going to like it. So this is, I really do think this is the golden years, and this is a great time to be an American.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah.
And he makes you proud to be an American. And, I'm excited about it.
Very excited. I mean, like you said, it's only been 8 months, and, there was like a train going 70 miles an hour in the wrong direction for 4 years. And now he's got to stop the train, turn it around. And, I think the next thing to come down is going to be inflation, which once that starts happening, I think people will have more money disposable in their posh.
Yes, without a doubt. And wages are going to go up too. You got wages going to go up. And, we talk about, these tariffs. You can't control tariffs. There's a lot of things that you can't control. You can't control politics, but what you can control is your finances. And if you really haven't had your finances checked out real deep, I'm talking about going through everything line by line, everything that you own, all the fees that are associated with what you own. And is there anything that you can do better to capitalize on the opportunities that are in front of us? And so this is what I'm proposing to you right now. If you have not had your portfolio or your retirement plan checked out, if we can give you income with 25 or 30% of what you're holding as an investment, and reduce the amount that you have to put in to create the income that you need, because our income is producing We have some that are producing at 8%. We have some that are producing at 12 and some at 15. And I'm talking about income that comes in monthly. And these are not long-term investments. These are not, annuity that you have to keep for 10 years. No, this is an investment that you get your money back after either 1 year or 2 years. And then we decide what we want to do with it again. But if we can create the income that, and I'll show you that I have the same thing that I'm talking about. So if we're giving you the income and you need, a third of what you're investing in now to create the same income, that leaves so much more money out that we can invest to fight inflation. But not only that, to grow your money, to grow your wealth, to pass on to your heirs, or to have, to spend, like if we talked about our travel concierge, Jeff is putting together trips for our clients that are first class trips. And the quote from one of our clients was, "I will use nobody but Jeff when I do travel." And that's, and these are, we have webinars that we'll have 100 people on, and he'll talk about trips that are coming up that he's putting together. If you want to go as a group, or if you want to go individual, if you want to go as a family, he'll put it together for you. But when he puts it together for you, he will tell you that he will follow you from if it's from the train to the train. We had Daniela from our office. Her plane was running late. Before she even knew her connection was running late, he called her and said, "You're okay. The plane's running late," before she even knew it. So this is what concierge service is. It's like I have a concierge doctor, and I don't have to wait in line, and he spends an hour plus with me as long as I need. It's not like you go in to your doctor and they don't even remember your name, and you go in there and they now what's going on again? It's a total different service, and that's what we at the Advantage Retirement Group, we love service for our clients because we like it for ourselves. Face it, who doesn't like great service? When you go to a restaurant, you talk about the service. When you come here, you talk about the service. You talk about the team, because we know what you need and what you want, and we go beyond and above. So give us opportunity to come and show you what we do here at the Advantage Retirement Group.
If you want concierge service, you want to deal with Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida's premier financial planner professional, over 40 years experience as a CFP and a fiduciary, which means his responsibilities to you, the individual investor. You want to visit with him in Fort Myers or Naples. Take advantage of the retirement simulator process. Be one of the first 9 to text the word VISIT, VISIT, to 239-747-1077. You can find out about all the different opportunities he has for investing that is in the market, outside the market. He has so many different opportunities for you to invest in strategies that will help get you to and through retirement. Pick up your smart device right now. Be one of the first 9 to text the word VISIT to 239-747-1077. You're going to visit with Alfie in Fort Myers or Naples, whichever is more convenient for you. Text the word VISIT, VISIT, 239-747-1077. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back right after this break, so don't go away. Welcome back to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend. Listen, if you're ready to take the next step in your retirement strategy, Alfie has something special for you. Today, he has 5 complimentary copies of his book, Making Waves in Retirement, available. That's all we have left. And if you haven't picked up your copy yet, what are you waiting for? It's your roadmap to a fulfilling retirement, packed with valuable insights and real-life stories from investors that Alfie has helped over his 40-year career as a certified financial planner professional. But the sad news is we only have 5 copies available, so you need to act now. Pick up your smart device and text the word book, BOOK, to 239-747-1077 to claim yours. That's book, BOOK, to 239-747-1077. Text that word book to that phone number and grab your copy before they're all gone. Alfie, large IRAs can be both a blessing and a challenge. They show you've done a great job saving, but they also can create a tax problem if you don't plan carefully. That's why our first guide in the Financial Freedom Strategy Kit outlines 3 key planning opportunities. And you want to talk about some of those conversions and optimizations, don't you?
So look, if you have a large IRA, and if you're not at that 73 where you have to start taking it out, there's some things you can do to reduce the amount that you have in that large IRA. You can do some Roth conversions. You can do partial Roth conversions. This is really converting a portion of your IRA. People will say, I didn't know you can do Roth conversion if I'm not working anymore. You can do a Roth conversion. That means you're taking money out of your IRA and moving it over. Look, the interest rate or the tax rates are low. We didn't know if President Trump was going to win. We didn't know if the taxes were going to go back up to what they were before President Trump moved them down the last time. But now they're permanent now. They're low. This is the time to consider doing some Roth conversion. Take part of your money, move it over, and we have a great program that we use to really look at what you have in there, and it will let us know what tax bracket part of that money is going to be paid at, and your average tax bracket you're going to pay for this conversion. So we keep it under limits. We take everything in consideration, the excise tax you have to pay for those 2 years. So we look at everything, but that could be one. That's one of the conversions. The other one is really to optimize what you have. You might have these accounts that have a lot of holdings in there, and we want to, and you might have where there's a lot in one company, like an Apple or something like that. We want to make sure that we want to get that out and do some diversification on that. And then beneficiary and legacy planning. This is always important because using a trust, your beneficiary. We had a client that was going to use our attorney, and the attorney wanted to put their IRA in a trust. Usually we don't put the IRA in a trust because if your IRA is in a trust, usually you have to have a 5-year payout versus a 10-year payout if you don't use a beneficiary. But there are ways to put in a trust and have a much longer payout than even 10 years. So, we'll look at all those, John, to really see what's the best way to reduce taxes in the future on their large IRAs.
Yeah, it's interesting. And if you want to find out more about that, Alfie is available. He also works, as a concierge service all around. He works with an estate planning attorney as well. So you can find out more about that by contacting him here at the office, 239-747-1077. You also can visit savingtheinvestor.com. Again, that's savingtheinvestor.com, where you'll find a wealth of information about Alfie, his company, and all the services that he offers here through the Advantage Retirement Group. And I think you had a client that came in that dealt with something like that.
Absolutely, we did. We look at, especially living here in Southwest Florida, you're going to have blended families.
Right.
You're going to have blended families. And so the one that we, in particular, that we work with, each spouse had their own adult children, and they wanted, and they, obviously they were both married before, widows, both of them, and they got together, and now they have these IRAs that's over $2 million. Okay. But the issue was, how did they pass that money on when they pass away? So, one of the things that we did, we had the surviving spouse would inherit the account. So that's what we wanted to do. The living spouse inherits the account and then lives on that money. Eventually, when that spouse dies, that's when the money has to get paid out to the children. And usually it has to be taken out over a 10-year period, a 10-year pay period. So when that happens, it's going to put those kids in a higher tax bracket. So if you have successful kids, this is something I want to spend a little bit of time with. If you have successful kids, a lot of times what they don't want to do is inherit IRA money, because it puts their current tax bracket into another tax bracket, because they got to take money out of these IRAs. So, it might be other assets that you want to, so what we'll do is we'll say, okay, your kids that are in the high tax bracket, they probably don't want to inherit your IRA, but I know you want to pass things on to them. So what we might want to do is let them inherit this part of the asset, because it's not going to be taxed as much. So you can give them something that's not as much value, but there's no tax on it. So these are all strategies that we want to look at. We want to look at what what they are passing on, and let them know the tax problem that they're going to have passing monies on to their kids. Uncle Sam could, they could really take, if you think about the inheritance tax, and then if you think about the taxes on your IRA, and depending on what tax bracket you are, it could be 50% of total taxes. So this is something that we want to look at. So we had an attorney set this account up, and what we did is we named the trust as the beneficiary of the IRA. So naming the trust as a beneficiary of the IRA, I don't always do that because like I said, it's sometimes better to have the kids on there because they have a longer payout. They could take it over 10 years, where trust is usually a shorter payout. But what it allowed that to do is it allowed them to have access to that money over a lifetime. So they were able to spread this out for longer time. So this is a good thing that you can do with using a trust. If you want to know more about using a trust in an IRA, feel free to give us a call. We'll help you with that. Of course, we use our attorney that draws all this up. And there's so much out there, John, when it comes from to IRAs, reducing taxes. This is we need a whole lot more time than this hour-long show that we have, but I'll be more than happy to set up, if they want to set up a time, come in, show them how they can do that, and we'll show some of the strategies that we do here at the Advanced Retirement Group.
Yeah, that's such a powerful example, Alfie, and I think it shows exactly why planning matters. A large IRA can either be your greatest retirement asset or your biggest tax burden, and the right strategies make all the difference in the world. And that's why Alfie has put together this high net worth toolkit, because inside there, it's going to talk about those type of trusts and estate planning. He only has 9 of these kits available today. They're very intensive, and you want to pick yours up. It's designed exclusively for affluent retirees and pre-retirees. So if you're soon to be retired or currently retired, you want to get a hold of this high net worth toolkit, because it's going to give you advanced guides on tax reduction, estate planning, which Alfie just talked about in detail, large IRA strategies, which he just talked about in detail, charitable giving, and so much more. You can get your complimentary toolkit right now. All you have to do is text the word KIT, K-I-T, to 239-747-1077. Get it before we go off the air. There's only 9 available today. Text the word KIT, K-I-T, to 239-747-1077. Again, you want to pick up this high net worth toolkit. If you're soon to be retired or currently retired, pick it up today. Text the word KIT to 239-747-1077.
Thank you, John. And we had a great show today talking about the markets, as we always do, but really giving some strategies on high net worth clients, what they need to do. There's a lot of things out there that we utilize. The attorney is a big part. When you have money, you have to have estate attorneys, you have to have tax attorneys, you have to have your CPAs, you have to use really a team approach when you're dealing with monies. And that's what we do here at the Advanced Retirement Group. We want to really put our team together so we can show you how to, not pay Uncle Sam so much and grow your money, have that income. You're listening to Saving the Investor radio show. I'm Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida certified financial planner professional, and we love doing this show. If you've never seen our TV show, it's on NBC right after Meet the Press at 11 o'clock, 11 to 11:30. It's one of the top rated shows that is a financial local show. And this is what we love to do. And of course, right here on 92.5 for well over 10 years now. So until next week, have a blessed Labor Day weekend.